Hello, Sacred Center community, Aquidneck Island and beyond. It's Rev Shelley Dungan. I am glad to lead you in a yoga practice today, and I had in mind that it could be a good one to do after you've done some cardio. So I'm a Zumba dancer, love it. I dance up at Common Fence Point, and I know there are many up there that enjoy the yoga classes that I offer. So if you just did Zumba, this might be a good cool down. Or if you rode your bike or took a little jog or even a vigorous walk, this will be a good complement to that. We'll do a lot in the lower body. So I'm glad that you're here. Things that you'll need. Yoga mat's a great idea. I really don't think you have to have one, so you can do the practice without it. You might want to have a strap. Could be a belt or a tie. If you have yoga blocks, you can bring those out and use them at your discretion. Folded blanket could be nice also. So I'm glad you're here. We are going to drop into a place that's calm, aware, and good. Let's start by chanting Om 3 times, and you're welcome to join me at home. Om. So I hope you can create a sacred space around you that's quiet, a place that's just for you. And as you are seated comfortably, I'm going to read to you a little something from Journey to the Heart, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. And this one is called Take Better Care of Yourself. Take better care of yourself than you ever have before. That's what your heart is telling you to do. Those times of driving yourself, depriving yourself, or not being gentle and loving with yourself will no longer work. The harder you push, the more you relentlessly demand perfection, the worse you'll feel. Fall in love with yourself. Be gentle, loving, kind, and attentive. Take time throughout each day to tend to your needs, just as you would tend to someone you love deeply and dearly. Loving and caring for yourself this way won't waste time. It's not a delay. Take better care of yourself and life's magic will return. Your life will improve and you'll feel better too. Taking care of yourself is a simple act with profound consequences. The better and more often you care for yourself, the more you'll align with the universe and the source of love. I hope this practice will be part of you taking good care of yourself. Well, please take your left hand over your heart, rest it there gently and with compassion for however you are feeling today. These are challenging times. Slide your eyes closed, bow your head a little bit so you are honoring your inner light. What is true for you right now? Breathing slowly. Please add your right hand on top of your left, dedicating the merits of your practice for the greater good. That you might take care of yourself and be in service to others, holding a space of compassion and kindness. Cultivating gentleness and calm. Please bring your palms together in a prayer or Anjali Mudra. Thumbs to the third eye, allowing the mind to settle and clear. And then slide your hands right down the center line of your body until your palms find placement on your knees. And then breathe slowly and deeply. Allow the belly to soften a little bit as you inhale and feel some movement coming into the ribs and up to the chest. And then as you exhale, just notice the breath leaving and start to create a slow and even flow to your breath. You can put a little sound to your breath if that's helpful for you. And I forgot to mention that if you would like music for your practice, you can have that on in the background at your location. Smooth, even, deep breaths. And then together we're going to start to move. You can lean to the left and forward, to the right and back. Start to create some slow circles. So if you have been doing a little bit of cardio, it's very firming and important, but it's also good to settle down and come into some deep stretches afterward. So I want you to pay attention to your hips. Notice how you might be rocking from one sitting bone to the other. Notice the sensation happening down through your hips. Holding space for discomfort as well as pleasure. And the next time you tilt forward, little pause. Put your hands out in front of you. Some of you likely can't reach the ground in front of you, but if you can, bring your hands to the ground, walk them forward a little bit, look down, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, let your thigh bones drop out to the sides a little bit more. Keep on breathing deeply. You walk your fingertips back in and then take your hands behind you with your fingertips toward your hips. Lean back, lift your legs up, hold your feet off the ground just for a moment. Feel the strength of your core and then cross your legs the opposite way. Sit back up. Sit up as tall as you're able to. And then together we lean to the right and forward and left and back. So same circles, different direction. And being patient with the process of slowing down. When I first saw people do yoga, I thought it looked terribly boring. But once I tried it, I realized it was anything but boring. So be patient if slowing down is not so easy for you. And the next time you come forward, have the gaze drop. Put your fingertips on the ground if you can, and if you cannot, they could just stay right on your knees. Lean. Breathe. And walk your hands right back in. One more time. Hands back behind you. Lean back. Lift your feet up. So this is boat pose. I'm going to go sideways. I'm going to show you. So they can be just off the ground a tiny bit, or some of you want to bring your feet up further. Some of you that like, ooh, this feels doable. You can put your hands behind your knees and sit up even more. Might be some watching who want to take the arms up and lengthen out through the legs a little bit more. Good. And then bring your feet back down. Wrap your forearms around the front of your shins and just drop your head a little bit. Take a few easy breaths. And we're going to come back up. I'd like you to tuck your right heel in and your left heel back behind you. Kind of like a pinwheel shape for your legs. And then take your left hand anywhere that it can reach. If you can come down onto the floor, do that. It could be on your leg, anywhere that you want. And then sit deeply into your right hip. Raise your right arm up and come into any kind of a side bend right here. Let your head fall free to the side. Breathe into your right ribs. Soften as much as you can down through the hips. Good. And then sit your way back up. Look to the right. Swing your hands around. Put both of your hands down over to the right side of your mat. Twist your body to the right. And then lower your chest partway towards your thumbs and then push back up slowly. So do that a couple of times. Getting a nice rotation through the spine getting a little strength through your arms. And next time you push up, just hold. Look out in the direction that you're facing. Twist a little deeper if it feels good. And then we're going to turn back toward the front. Take that left foot around and around until you put it flat down on the ground and your left toes are facing forward. Interlace your fingers on the front of your left shin. Take your elbows to the side and use the strength of your core. Just sit up a little bit taller. You can feel your low belly, your low back, sides of your waist kind of cinching in to help you sit tall. Deep breath. You're going to twist to the left. You can take your right hand on the front of the knee. You can take your forearm. Some of you will hook the elbow. And then look to the left. Take your left hand back behind you. Push into the hand right down into the floor. Drop your right thigh bone to any degree and twist your way around. Inhaling into a soft belly, exhaling into a firmer belly. Now let's unwind the twist. Reach for your strap if you have one, and if you don't, I'm sure you can make do. And I'm going to put the strap around the ball of the left foot. I'm going to give it a little loop with the hands, leaning back, starting to lift the left heel up. So it'll look a little different on each one of us. So I'm going to keep on lifting, lifting, lifting with the left heel as much as possible. Put the side for you. And then sit up strongly with your core. Lift your chin a little bit. Breathe. Push out through your left heel. Start to feel what's happening. Backside of the left leg. Doesn't have to be straight. Mine isn't straight. Deep breath right there. And then bring the foot right back down. Put the strap over to the side for now. Come back onto those palms. Take your knees wide and drop them from side to side. And feel that rolling across the hips. Rotating through the low back. Keep on breathing slowly, deeply. Let your mind relax. Just think about what you're doing right now. Back to the center. I'm going to tuck the left heel in and the right heel behind us. So we're in a pinwheel shape on this side. Right hand finds some place to land, either outside your body over on the floor, or it could be right on the leg if that's just better for you. And then take your left arm straight up. And keep on lifting, lifting, lifting. Settle into your left hip. Let your right ear fall softly towards your right shoulder. Come into a side bend to any degree. Feel that long line from your left hip to your left hand, widening through the left ribs. Sitting back up. Some core strength happening right there. Turn to the left and put both your palms down. Spread them wide. Really feel what you're pushing into. And then lift and twist and rotate your chest toward the left. And some little half push-ups here, lowering down, pressing back up. Simply keep following the breath. Do what you can. Press up, hold, feel the twist. And then turn toward the front. Take your right foot around. Put it flat down in front of your left ankle. Interlace your fingers on the front of the right shin. Elbows go to the side. Zip up your spine, taller and taller, without shrugging the shoulders. Don't want to do that. Sit a little taller yet. And then take your left palm, forearm, or elbow, hook it on the front of the right knee, twist to the right, right hand behind you, left thigh pressing down a bit. A few deep breaths here, cleansing and clearing, right, balancing your spinal muscles and also just decompressing, releasing some stress on the exhale. Okay. And then right back around to the center. Grab that strap if you have it and you want to use it. Goes in the ball of the right foot. Lean back. Get your balance. Lift that right heel up to any degree. Stretching, stretching, getting into the hamstrings on the right leg. Sit up tall from your low back and your low belly. Great. Well done. Bend the foot, put it back down. Strap off to the side for now. Bring the soles of your feet together. And some of you will just grab the knees. That's about as far as it goes. Others of you will slide your hands right down the shins toward the ankles. Some of you might even kind of cup the feet. And without force, very important that you don't hurt your low back. But tip your gaze down now toward your toes and lean gently forward. And there could be some that want to take the elbows and push the knees out a little bit more, so just do that with great care. A few deep breaths. Feeling down into the hips. Good. And then just come right back up, please. Come into a wide straddle. Just send those heels way out. If you've got those blocks and you want to tuck them behind your knees, you can. That will put a bend in your knees and make the pose maybe more comfortable for you. So I just want you to sit tall for a moment. Let your thighs just calm and settle. Feel that your heels are on the ground. You're seated. Your spine is long. And then look down. Take your fingertips in front of you. To any degree possible, start to lean forward. And go breath by breath. Feel the tension that you're encountering. Pause. Breathe deeply. See if it softens a little bit. If it does, then maybe the stretch goes further. And if not, you just hold. Be the watcher. Have compassion for the tightness in your body. And if some of us have been sitting more than usual, or some of us have been moving more than usual, but regardless, your body needs kind attention. And when you're ready, walk your hands right back in. Bring your feet together and send your left leg out. Bend your right leg, the sole of your right foot on the inseam of the left leg. And we're going to be heading forward into a forward fold. Strap is an option if you know that you can't reach the foot. You can get that strap going around the ball of the left foot. But initially, just want you to sit squarely in both of your sitting bones, or both hips feel like they're settled. Lift up with your whole torso, and then start to come forward. So if you're a strap user, your stretch might look like this. If you're super tight, bend your left knee. That's fine. It's easier to come forward. If you're not using a strap, you can walk your hands down. Calf, ankle, maybe even the foot. And then fold. Listen to the sound of your breath. Listen to the sounds in the room where you are. Notice the sensations in your body without having to label them or decide whether you like it or you don't like it. Another breath or two, seeing if the body softens further, and if so, you can lean into that softness without pushing hard. Please walk your hands slowly back up. Take your right hand and tip your right knee up. Interlace your fingers in the front of the right knee and sit up tall. Press down into the back side of your left leg, and we'll take a twist to the right using the left palm, forearm, or elbow. Rotating right, coming onto the right hand behind us, and twisting around. Deep cleansing breaths. Soft through the eyes, soft through the jaw. Sitting brightly, but with some ease. And then rotate yourself back to the center, please, and we'll flip the other leg Right leg goes long, bend your left, tuck the left foot right to the inseam of the right leg. Sit deeply. If you're going to use the strap, you can put it on the ball of your right foot. Settle your hips. Kind of lift your torso up and start to come forward. Drop your gaze. Let your left thigh bone settle toward the ground. Soften through your low back. If you're going to use your hands on your body, you've got the calf, ankle, or foot possibly. Breath by breath, descending. No need to pull and tug. Just guide the body forward, breath by breath. Find your way to a bit of stillness right here. When you feel ready to come out, walk your hands back up. There. Left hand tips the left knee up, left foot's flat on the ground, interlace your fingers, front side of the knee, sit up tall. Work your core a bit, broaden across the collarbones, keep your shoulders down away from your ears. Find that feeling of being strong. Then we're going to twist to the left. Right palm, forearm or elbow, rotating around. Left hand comes back behind you. Inhale to a soft belly. Exhale, squeeze and rotate. This action of wringing out, letting go on that out breath. And then find your way back to the center. Please cross your ankles. Center yourself. Put your palms right down on your knees. Take a 5-breath pause, which is a spiritual practice that is so simple. I try to use it often, and I teach it to many of my students, where all you do is stop. Get quiet, get calm. Take 5 smooth breaths. See how it rebalances you. And now we're going to come into a fluid movement section of our practice. So please come on to all fours, onto hands and knees. And as you look down, you can spread your hands very wide. There you go. Just press on in, get stronger through your arms. Your knees are hip distance apart. And we'll come through cat and cow, lifting the hips and the chest up. Slight gaze forward. Exhale, rounding and tucking. I'll go sideways so you can see better. This is the in breath, hips rise, chest rises. And the out breath is the rounding and the tucking, chin toward the chest, drop your tailbone, round your back. And make that as smooth as you can. Long, long inhale, long, long exhale. Trying to build a sense of strength and fluidity through the spine. And starting to link the breath and the movement together. One more time. Exhale strongly. Stay rounded. Hold your navel toward your spine and give your head a shake. Get rid of some tension from your neck. And then come right back into a flat back. And I'd like you to shift your hips to the left and pull your left shoulder towards your left hip. So you're shortening your left side waist, lengthening your right side waist. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And kind of like a dog wagging its tail, just go from side to side. Little side bends. Nice, smooth, easy breathing. And then you can let your head wag around too. And right back to the center. Stretch your right foot way back. Curl your right toes under. And then press your right heel back so you are stretching your right calf. Push into your palms, strong through the arms, long through the spine. And then lift that up. Diagonally, take your right foot over onto the floor. Plant the ball of your foot. And then once again, bring your right shoulder towards your right hip. Get a little longer on the right side of your body from your right heel to your right shoulder. Still pushing back through the heel. Good. And then same thing the other side. So put the right knee down. Stretch back through your left. Curl the toes under. Just stretch right into that left calf for now. Use the strength of your low belly to draw up a little bit to support your low back. And lift the left heel up. Diagonally take that left leg over. Now look right. Shorten your right side waist. Lengthen your left side waist. Keep pushing your left heel away. Good. And then back to the center. You're going to bring your left knee wide, your right knee wide, your big toes together, and lean back for child's pose. Stretch your arms forward. If your forehead doesn't come all the way to the ground, simply bend your elbows, stack your hands, use your hands as a little pillow, and then press your hips towards your heels. Soften your rib cage and your chest to any degree toward the ground. Child's pose, great stretch for the low back and the hips. If you have the ability to take your arms wide, forehead to the mat, you can try that. We'll step the hands back in. Bring your knees back onto the mat. Curl your toes under. You're going to come into a downward facing dog. So once you get your hips up, you'll probably have to readjust the placement of your hands and your feet. To the best of your ability, just have the hips high. Your heels are sinking. Your legs might be really bent. That's just fine. If you have tight shoulders, take your hands wider. And just let your ears hang somewhere around the inside of your arms. Breathe. Push into your hands. Try to send a little more weight back into your feet. And we're going to drop the left knee to the ground. Step the right foot forward. Good. And here's a place that you could use your blocks if you wanted. So we're going to come up into a kneeling lunge. So we're going to stretch the front of the left hip. And so if you need the blocks, they're right there for you. If you don't need the blocks, bring your hands up onto your right knee. Sink your hips down a little bit further. Feel again that opening on the left hip. And some of you might want to take your arms all the way up overhead. Sink the hips. Widen your right foot so you feel steady. Really get some strength going in your legs. And if you want to lean back into a little back bend, you're going to lift up with the rib cage. If you want to get fancy, you can take your hands into a temple mudra, just like that. Okay, that's release the hands. Bring them down, look down. Slide your hips back a tiny bit or a lot and fold over the right leg. A few moments here. Big hamstring stretch. Then point and flex your right foot a few times. Good. And then once you step back forward onto your right foot, bring your right hand inside. Pause right here. Feel a little stretch. Again, if you need the blocks under your hands, they're there for you. And then eventually take your right knee back onto the mat and either Rest in child's pose with your legs fairly close together, or curl your toes under. Press your way back to a downward facing dog. Good. Breathe. Okay. And from where you are, we're going to put the right foot down, step your left foot forward, coming into a kneeling lunge on this side. Again, if you need those blocks, you can just stay right here. Excellent stretch. You can come further by bringing your hands onto your left knee, sink your hips down further. You want to feel steady in the sole of your left foot. And there might be some of you that want to bring the arms up overhead. Little back bend, option for a temple mudra. And if you look up, it really challenges your balance. It gets tricky fast. Good. And then we'll come back down, hands to the ground. Pull your hips back a little bit or a lot. Folding over left leg. Then point and flex your left foot a couple of times. You'll feel a big stretch that way. Stepping onto the left foot, left knee comes forward, left hand comes inside, and then bring your left knee back to match your right. And one more time in a wide knee child's pose. Knees are really wide, big toes are pointed in, hips drop, and this time you can add a little twist. Lean into your left palm, thread your right hand underneath the left armpit, drop your right shoulder down. If you have trouble or you just need it, take the block. There you go. Becomes a little pillow for the side of your head. And then you might want to stretch your left fingers forward. Yeah, feel the stretch into your right shoulder. Also still down deep into the hips, the low back, and the groin. I've got my right palm up and my left palm down. Slide your left hand back in. Just feel the texture of whatever you're touching. Press into the left palm. Pull your right hand out. Put the right palm right down on the mat. I'm going to thread the left hand under the right armpit, reach it across. Drop the left shoulder to the mat. Again, if you need a block because your shoulders are a little grumpy or just because you want it, there you go. Slide your right palm forward. Got my left palm facing the sky and my right palm facing the earth. Relax your left shoulder. The right hand slides in, presses into the mat. You can withdraw your left hand. You can move your block out of the way if you'd like. And then one more time into down dog. Step the knees together, curl your toes under, send your hips up. And give your head a little wiggle to remind your neck to stay relaxed. You might want to come up and down on your toes. So you stretch into the backs of the legs a little bit more. I'm thinking about a long line from the palms to the hips and from the hips to the heels. Good. And now please come down onto both knees. You're facing the front of your mat. I'm going to face you. And if you can sit on your heels, do so. If not, take your block between your ankles and make a little perch for your hips, or just be upright like that. So for most of you, I'm hoping you get a little quad stretch here. And I'm going to roll the shoulders a couple of times. And in the rolling of the shoulders, some of you might want to roll your head as well. Opposite direction. And then let's open the front of the chest. This is an important move if you've been on the computer a lot, which I suspect many of us have. Take your hands into a bind behind your back. So palm to palm interlace. Lengthen your arms to any degree that's possible. Breathe right into that front of your chest, that width across your shoulders, your collarbones are expanding. Your arms are lengthening to any degree, and you might want to float the chin down. Tip your right ear towards your right shoulder very gently. Keep stretching through the chest. Tip your left ear towards your left shoulder. Beautiful. Come back to the center, release. Shake out your wrists, your arms a little bit, your shoulders. And then before we drop down to our backs, I want to give you a chance to come into a little squat or a standing forward fold. So look down, you're going to curl your toes under. And as you rock back onto your toes, if your knees are okay with this, turn your knees out. You could also step your feet wider if you want, but this is going to be our squat. Some folks whose hips don't drop down too low could certainly squat a little bit more like this. So to whatever degree your hips come to the earth, bring them down. And if you want to, put your hands in prayer, thumbs at the heart. Keep letting your tailbone drop. Let your chest lift. Deep breath. Good. And then look down. Put your hands down. Lift your hips up. Put your feet flat on the mat. Maybe your feet are as wide as the mat. Let your head hang down. Some of you will grab your opposite elbows for ragdoll. And some of you might want to take that bind again behind your back, palm to palm, interlace your fingers, lift up, peek between your legs, top of your head toward the earth. Good. And then let go of your hands. We're going to roll up to standing, just nice and slow. Good. And then you can keep your feet just right where they are. Bring your hands all the way out and up. Just feel the fullness of your body, right from the soles of your feet to your fingertips. And then bring your palms together. Feel the fingertips touch. Slide your thumbs right down the center line of your body till the thumbs land at the heart. 5 breath pause right here. Sense the earth beneath you, the air all around you. Know there's a beautiful sky above you. 5 peaceful breaths. Let's come down onto our back for reclining stretches and some relaxation. So please make your way right down onto your back and hug your knees in towards your chest. If you're tight, one hand on each knee. If you're a little looser, you might be able to hook your elbows around your knees, maybe interlace your fingers if that's appealing to you, and rock slowly side to side. I'd like you to feel a softening through your low back. Notice the sensation as you rock from one side to the other. Back side of the rib cage, backs of the shoulder blades, and the back of your head as it tilts from side to side. Good. And then come to a still place. Lift your heels up. And some of you will just wrap your arms around the back side of your thighs for a variation of that. Others of you will be able to reach up and grab the outer ridges of your feet for happy baby. And you can have either your feet tucked in, rocking side to side, or you can have your heels stacked straight above your knees and rock just like that. It might be nice to tuck your chin just a tiny bit so you feel a little longer from the back of your head to your tailbone. Good. Then keep hold with the right foot. Let go of your left foot and put your left foot on the ground. And just stay right there. Use the strength of your right arm. Pull your right knee outside your right armpit. There might be some taking this class who can take the left leg long and straight and down. And there's an option to grab the right big toe and send the right foot out to the side. Smooth, long breaths. Rebend, bring it back in. Hug both knees back in toward the center for a moment. Notice any difference of how you feel in the right half of your body compared to the left half. Good. And then same stretch again. Grab the feet or behind the knees. Pause. Get long and as flat to the ground as you can through your back body. And then if the heels elevate, you can go with that. Press your tailbone toward the ground. And then you can let go of your right foot, put it right down on the ground, hold onto your left foot, pull down. You want your left knee outside your left armpit. And then some might be straightening the right leg, and pressing it down at the same time that you're pulling your left knee outside your left armpit. Nice. And now let go of your left foot. Stretch your whole body long on the ground, like really long. Heels forward, forward, forward. Reach back to your fingertips. Stretch everything. You can even point your toes. Give everything a good squeeze while you breathe in. Breathe out and relax. Just notice the breath as it comes and goes. Good. And from here, please bend your knees. We're going to come into bridge. If you have a block, you can get that over by you, or a rolled blanket if you want to tuck it under your hips in a few moments. But for now, we're just, here we are, flat on the ground. Legs are bent, feet are grounded, arms are down by your sides. And then press into your feet, lift your hips up. You can walk the backs of your arms underneath your shoulders. Some of you will take the bind. And then some of you will get a little higher up, push into your feet. Feel the strength of your legs and your glutes. Open through the chest. Root to the earth in order to lift other parts of the body up. Breathing. Then reaching for your block or a rolled blanket. Tuck it underneath. Place it underneath your hips. Lower your hips right onto any kind of elevated support that you can. Relax the legs for a moment. And then draw your right knee in. Interlace your fingers on the front side of your right knee. And to any degree, slide your left heel away from you. Pull your right knee in. Start to feel that huge opening front side of the left hip. Smooth your breath out. Do a little check-in. See if you have any tension in your eyes or anywhere in your face or your mouth. Let that tension go. And let's do the other side. Let go of your right knee. Pull your left knee in. Snug it in towards your left chest. Consider sliding your right leg long. Pushing down with the right thigh, if possible. Feeling big opening front side of the right hip. Smooth, deep breaths. Good. Let's release that. Feet are on the ground. Lift your hips up. Lower your hips down for a moment, and if you have that block, just rest it right on your pelvis. Going to take a spinal twist and then our final relaxation. You can take the block in your right hand and put it down maybe outside your mat so that when you pull your legs in and drop your legs to the right, your shin bone can kind of rest on that block. And then you can take the right hand onto the top knee, take your left arm out to the side, and just play around with smoothing your shoulders down away from your ears, and then see where you want to turn the head. There's sometimes where turning the head in the direction of the legs feels best, or straight up, or over toward the extended arm. Smooth, deep breaths, filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest when you breathe in. Long, slow breaths out. Notice any part of the body that starts to soften. Maybe a little melting of the right outer hip toward the ground. Relaxing into that spiral shape. Let your tongue rest in your lower jaw. Your eyes and your cheeks be soft. And we're going to come out of the twist on that side. Our feet come back to the ground. Switch the block over to your left hand. Put it wherever you think it's probably going to work for you. Knees come in, legs drop left. I'm going to rest that left shin bone on the block and the little stacking of the knees, if that works for you. Left hand on top of the right knee, and right arm is out to the side. A real settling of the right shoulder. And then maybe a turning of the head. Try to let your feet rest. Feel your left outer hip soften toward the ground a bit. Relax into the spiral shape. And let your heart stay wide. Once we release this twist, we are heading into a guided relaxation, which is a very important part of the practice. So really encourage you to do that. You can just stretch out really long and broad wherever you are, or I'll give you a few moments to get some creature comforts. So you might want to cover yourself with a blanket. If you had a second blanket, you could roll it up and put it behind your knees. So take a few moments right now. Maybe you want to put on your sweatshirt or your socks. So once you are settled, this is a practice of non-doing. This final pose, Shavasana or corpse pose, is a spiritual practice of letting go and entrusting yourself to be just held by the universe, or whatever reference you make to something bigger than yourself. So I'm going to sit and guide you. I'm going to walk you through it. It would be lovely if you could stay in Shavasana for 10 minutes. So I'll guide you. I'll say goodbye, and then if you can just stay where you are a little longer, that might be good. So we're going to rest in calm, conscious, open awareness. You're going to be able to mindfully just notice the stream of thoughts and feelings and sensations as they arise and as they pass away, all within your field of spacious consciousness. So I want you to let yourself drop, like the weight of your body drop, and also let your mind just drop and settle into a little deeper place where there is a stillness. Allow your head to relax. Let completely go of the weight of your head onto the earth. With your eyes closed, you can feel the soft way that your eyelids cover your eyes. Unhinge your jaw by separating your teeth a little bit and letting your tongue rest in your lower jaw. As you let go, feel your shoulders melt down away from your ears and the back of your neck, release toward the ground, and a softening through your throat. And in this process of letting go, there's no need to manage your breath. There's no need to try to do anything at all. Just only listen to my words to the extent that they guide you deeper into an easeful state. Feel the weight of your shoulders releasing and some widening and softening through the chest that happens. And feel the presence of your arms just right down by your sides. Let your awareness trickle down both of your arms like they're just streams of beautiful liquid energy, and sense your hands wherever they are placed. Feel the easiness in your hands. Notice the gentle rising and falling of your body as it breathes itself. Sensation of the breath as it passes in and returns. So you continue to relax and all over letting go, the whole trunk of your body, just dropping, releasing. Feel the support of the earth beneath you for your shoulders, whole back of your rib cage, your low back. Feel the softness of your belly and the way that your front ribs are relaxing down towards your back ribs. Feel the weight of your hips on the earth, just broad, settled, at ease. And then notice the presence of your legs, any sense of energy that's there. Sensing the weight of the thigh bones, the curve of your knees, the slope of the shins. Feeling the relaxation of the legs all together. And then feel the presence of your feet. Just let your awareness linger around your feet for a few moments, and all you're doing is noticing. And then let your awareness expand so that you feel your body as one whole field of energy. One whole field of sacred energy. And you're resting in the gentle awareness of whatever arises and whatever fades. In touch with your eternal essence, which does not fade. And at the center of your being, all is well. Let it go and let it be. It's a quote by Eddie Hilson. Through me course wide rivers, and in me rise tall mountains. And beyond the thickets of my agitation and confusion, there stretches the wide plains of peace and surrender. All landscapes are within me, and there is room for everything. I'll read that one more time. Through me course wide rivers, and in me rise tall mountains. And beyond the thickets of my agitation and confusion, there stretch the wide plains of my peace and surrender. All landscapes are within me, and there is room for everything. Nothing to resist, nothing to resent, nothing to regret. Just rest in the gentle peace that is your true nature. And I send you wishes for peace, health, and happiness now and always. Namaste.